Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. We got a great one for you today. It's going to be pretty exciting. Here's how we start off today's show. We're going to start by talking today about the OZY Fest. It's a little dumb, let's just say the least. GOP lawmaker Jason Spenser strips down, gets down, dirty, and racist on Sacha Baron Cohen's Who is America, the week 2 of this crazy show. Democratic Representative Tim Ryan tells us all about the yoga vote. That'll be a lot of fun. Also, Ecuador will imminently withdraw asylum for Julian Assange and hand him over to the UK. What will they do with him? We'll explore with a new column out from Glenn Greenwald. James Comey tells the hashtag resistance what to do, and New York Times says Maggie Haberman has left Twitter. And I'm going to start, just to get into OZY Fest, July 21st and July 22nd. So we're recording this Monday, July 23rd, when we're coming down from that OZY Fest high. And I knew this was happening. I saw like an ad for it. I'm going to have for you in a couple of weeks, actually, me and, if you remember, he hasn't been on a long time, but we're going to have Zach Lifshitz come on and talk about this whole thing with the New York Times. I'm sure that's going to come, because this is pretty much what I saw. It feels exactly like the school of the New York Times, kind of people who would love this kind of stuff, just if you're in that kind of space as a person. I'm not saying they're bad people, but they're just different. That's all. They're different from us. They're different folks. Anyway, so yeah, the headliner, Saturday, July 21st, Secretary Hillary Clinton, Laurene Powell Jobs. I'm just going to read the line. So this is Steve Jobs' widow. Lineup here. This is the lineup. Young the Giant, Common, Martha Stewart, A-Rod, Hasan Minhaj, Marcus Samuelson, I don't even know who that is, Tony Gonzalez, Salman Rushdie, Steven Pinker, Roxanne Gay, Tom Perez, the most exciting guy in the world, Mark Sanford, who literally, he's like, he won the governor's race after pretty much. He won the governor's race after he had to resign, after he was literally kicked out of Republican politics and whatever hellhole state he's from, after taking his mistress on a trip to Colombia, which was quite an incredible story. You got Rose McGowan, Ruth Zuckerman, Isaac Mersari, Grover Norquist, Christian Serrano, Robert Herjavec, Lizzie O'Leary, and Carlos Curbelo. Sunday, July 22nd, Passion Pit, Group Love, Chelsea Handler, Michelle Wolf, Roy Choi, Malcolm Gladwell. Damn, literally the oldest looking, relatively young person alive. Roy Choi, Laverne Cox, Sana Lathan, Tom Steyer, Karl Rove. Ugh. Anna Kasparian, Jamel Hill, Scott Rogowski, Senator Kristen Gillibrand, Tay Diggs, Padma Lakshmi, and Faye Schlesinger was this whole the lineup of this whole entire festival, which is quite incredible. So Common is a rapper turned activist, and OZY Media, as we know, they revel in its comparisons. I personally have reveled in ignorance about OZY Media for quite a long period of time. The first time I found out about them was literally for this festival. I'm not making that up. I'm not saying like that to diss them or anything, but I literally had not heard of OZY Media. It founded in Silicon Valley, and it's been compared to Vice and BuzzFeed, which I kind of find is ridiculous. BuzzFeed's been way more successful, first of all, and Vice is just cooler. I'm sorry. Like, Vice does a good job of like making dumb things seem like they do kind of cool stuff for like no discernible reason. Or at least they try to anyway. But yeah, it's not surprising, therefore, that OZY's 2-day festival, aptly called OZY Fest, will draw comparisons to other similar gatherings of musicians, politicians, writers, and more. This is the Daily Beast's trying to be nice about it review. According to the festival's website, the festival has been referred to by CNBC as New York's answer to South by Southwest, with panels similar to TED Talks. Great. Gotta love the TED Talks. Yep. Like, literally, I saw a TED Talk at TEDx over the weekend, which was literally called, I was almost a school shooter. Like, this is the best kind of stuff. But anyway, so, yeah, of course, we got to Rose McGowan, Cynthia Nixon, Hillary Clinton, Roxanne Gay, Michelle Wolf, and Karl Rove. So yeah, they're just going to put Hassan Minaj or Rose McGowan right back to Karl Rove. How did they... Karl Rove, people! Like, this guy... Like, they spent all their time stealing an election, but, like, literally, they got the master, Karl Rove, like, right there. They're talking about, oh, Russia stealing the election. But literally, and they're sitting, like, backstage waiting. Like, you had, like, Chelsea Handler and Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks and, like... Cynthia Nixon or Rose McGowan or whoever talking about, the election was stolen from me, Hillary Clinton. And meanwhile, backstage or someone in their area, it was literal election stealer himself, Karl Rove, for George H.W. Bush. Like, this guy, like, what are we doing? Like, grow up. Jesus. There's the rapper Common, and like any festival worth its salt, some musical acts were slated to perform, namely Young the Giant. Like, these are musical acts. This is news to me. They just put like, a bunch of random words together. Yeah, Group 11, Passion Pit. This is a pit. It sounds like euphemism for an orgy. It's a passion pit. Like, like doesn't seem like the best musical type thing to do. So yeah, one of these bands are exactly hot ticket items in 2018. They're fun, palatable indie rockers who fit right on with the brand of the easy to digest entertainment OZY Fest seems to thrive on. This, again, from the Daily Beast. Like, easy to digest is... I mean, if you mean by... When you say easy to digest, you mean turn your brain off and fall into a laxative state while you watch these great, smart people, including HQ's very own Scott Rogowski. And, again, I keep going back to this. Karl Rove talk about random things like politics, stuff like that. Yeah, so with these panelists and performers all seem a bit random. That seems to be the point. OZY Fest's scope is pretty broad. They're like the definition of the Democrats saying they're a big tent party. Well, this is what it is. Yeah, so perhaps because OZY Fest so clearly aims to please, however, it all just falls a little flat. It's not for a certain group of people. It's for everyone. Republicans, Democrats, and those who have not yet made up their mind to come in and talk about just mind-numbing drivel that sounds like and is advertised as politics. So pretty much like, I do recommend, for some people who are there, you got Majority Report Radio, covered it, and also the legendary podcast Chapel Trap House. So I want to give them a shout out, and I would not be lying if I said I heard their episode today, and I said, hey, let's dig a little deeper into this, because I should be honest there. But yeah, I did want to give my own take about this kind of fiasco that is OZY Fest, and it just seems like it's a little, like it's just so exemplified. I can't even think of the word. It just exemplifies. How about that? It just shows you so clearly the state of today's Democratic Party. Like, this is who it is. It doesn't aim to please everyone. It just aims to please everyone, sorry. And it's totally happy. It's totally fine with inviting absolute horror shows of humans, including Bill Kristol and Karl Rove, back into the social fray to make nice and get credibility with these so-called liberals in the hashtag resistance that are the best. Yeah. Like, and to hype these people up. And then in the meantime, they'll have people like Cynthia Nixon and Anna Kasparian so they could please the progressives. And then there's people like Malcolm Glad, like Pat, like, why is he here? I just don't know. Yeah, so, yeah, Jamel Hill even came, which is, so they got something for the sports fans as well. But it's just, it has something for everyone, but only one type of person. Like the people, like New York City liberals, the liberals, not like the left wingers, but the liberals who kind of go into this. They think of only one thing, which is like this is their version of heaven right here. This is literally their version of heaven. Mother Hillary. We got innovators like Martha Stewart and Laureen Powell Jobs, who's married to Steve Jobs, who created the iPhone, but also decided to just die when he could have been easily cured of his cancer. which it seems like I just don't get it. But it's for another subject. But and then also people like Marcus Samuelsson. I don't even know who that is. Like, how is this supposed to attract? Like, who is this for? Who is this for? It's for those New York liberals. I just answered that question. But anyway, yeah, so the organizer of the festival were well-meaning, if a little bit scatterbrained, and the whole tone of this Daily Beast review here is just to try to be as nice as possible about this whole thing, and just to say, oh, they meant well. They meant well. Yeah, check-in was a near nightmare, and the layout was unnecessarily confusing, and apparently, because from what the Chapo guys said, they had to, wear wrist lanyards. I don't even know what that is, but they had to wear wrist lanyards and stamped hands to get into the festival. But the VIP section even got free pizza. Yeah, as the rain clouds moved in later the day, staffers came by with trays of candy, rain ponchos, and whole boxes of insomnia cookies, all complimentary. Which is good because the tickets were $100 a day. And yeah, so this Daily Beast reporter was stopped multiple times by staffers who want to know if I was having a good time or if I was excited for the next panel. Just let me enjoy the stupid festival. Are you having a good time? Are you having a good time? Shut up. Yeah, but the politicians featured on Saturday's lineup were relevant and could have been very interesting to listen to if they had been asked the right questions. Instead, festival organizers alternated between giving them a no-holds-barred platform to espouse tired viewpoints or pairing them with sympathetic counterpart who wouldn't dream of challenging them. Cynthia Nixon, for instance, was not in conversation with anyone, but instead offered her usual boilerplate regards to Anthony Cuomo and the Democratic Party in a 30-minute long speech. So yeah, she just was in conversation with anyone because she was just apparently too cool for school, or too cool for they're just who are we gonna have Cynthia Nixon? Is it gonna be Common? Is it gonna be Laureen Powell Jobs? They could have had Anna Kasparian do it, but she was the only politician that actually excites people there. Look at the politicians there. And she says these politicians, and she's probably someone who would if it had been, or just to organize a little bit better, she would have loved to go to this thing. Look at the politicians. I'm just going to scan through here, this entire lineup. I mean, the comedians, I guess, people like, but you have Karl Rove, who's political. Grover Norquist, who there is going to love Grover Norquist? Mark Sanford, these politicians are not, one of them, they're all just, Mark Sanford literally just lost a primary. And then there's Tom Perez, the most irrelevant man in politics, and also probably the most boring. These people are not relevant people. Literally, the headliner, literally the most irrelevant politician there is right now. Other than, I don't know, John McCain. Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, Grover Norquist was in conversation with Florida Senator Mark Sanford, who spent much of his time on stage rehashing the long-heard views, his long-heard views on tax reform and what was clearly the crown jewel of the festival's try-hard progressive crown, Hillary Clinton. I mean, more people right now care about, but there is a really kind of big, cult of Hillary Clinton. And apparently from what was described by eyewitness accounts of Will Menaker, shout out Will Menaker, at Will Menaker, and at Cushbaum, Matt Christman, in this whole thing. Apparently it was they had this montage, they, when Hillary was up there, they had some montage presented for Hillary Clinton, and they were oh, we're all doing this, we're doing all these Black Lives Matter, the union protests, all these just random protests in response to Donald Trump. They're for you, Hillary. We want you to forgive us. We let you down. We didn't vote for you. I'm so sorry. You lost. But then Hillary had to become it. I was I love you guys. But yeah, it was just an entirely weird scenario there. Yeah, Hillary Clinton talked to, again, Laureen Powell Jobs, and it quickly turned to another discussion of the dismal state of America's politics with a feel-good video compilation of protesters, again, from across the nation thrown in at the end. Before walking off stage to thunderous applause, Clinton urged festival goers to vote in the November midterm election. Powell Jobs beamed to call her a national treasure of a woman. Yeah, so not in my book. I'm sorry. Cynthia Nixon. Again, Cynthia Nixon is my idea of a national treasure of a woman who's running against a scumbag in Andrew Cuomo, who has done nothing good for his